Hello, my name is Jeffrey. I'll be making this video for 3 mathematics tasks. I will assume that my listening audience is someone that have very little background in mathematics. The first of these tasks is to calculate the distance between 2 points A and B. So if we look at this figure, we are given point A and B, which is a straight line. So the distance, if I assume that the distance between the point A and B is C. So from a point A, as you can see, I extended a point A vertically to meet another point O, and I extended point B horizontally to meet another point O. So this basically is a right angled triangle, right angled at point O. So we know generally from mathematics that in a right angled triangle, as we have here A, B, C, that the square of the longest side, which is C, is equal to the sum of the square of the two remaining sides. The two remaining sides we have here is A and B. So for us to be able to calculate the longest side C, then this C should be equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides, A square, B square. So this basically is the Pythagoras rule, which is C square is therefore equal to A square plus B square. So since we are calculating this longest side C, we are being given the coordinates of the point A and B. So you look at it here, the coordinate of the point A and B. So if we calculate the distance between these two coordinates, the first is this and the second is this. If we calculate the distance between them, and then we can also calculate the distance between the first of the point and the second of the point. So if you see from here, the distance from the first point to the second point, if we call it small a, so the difference in the point is just 4.28 minus the second point. So we arrive at this. So if you do the same thing for the point B, so we will arrive also at minus 0.6. So if you substitute the value of A into this formula and the value of B into this, then you arrive at this. So if we take the square root of the resulting answer, then which is just the square root of 43.56 plus 0.3136, so the distance therefore of AB, which is C, is equals to 6.62. This is pretty easy. The second of the task is to change an angle in degrees to radian. Then let's say we are given an angle 90 degrees and we are being told to change it to radian. Then we know a general rule in mathematics that says pi rad is 180 degrees. Then if we assume an unknown angle in rad, then we equate it to the given angle 90 degrees. Then if we can easily find the unknown angle x. So if we cross multiply s rad multiplying 180 degrees and 90 degrees multiplying pi rad, then our resulting answer is pi rad over 2. But we know that the value of pi is 3.142. So pi rad, actually we are going to put this pi in the, you substitute the actual value in place of 3.142. So x therefore will be equal to 1.57 rad. So it means that 1.57 rad is the equivalent angle in degrees, 90 degrees. So the 90 degrees, the equivalent angle in rad is 1.57. So the third of the task here is to find the coordinate of a point B on a circle with a given radius and from a certain center. So if we know that this point B is on a circle, so here we are giving the radius r to be 2. Root 2, I mean, the radius r is root 2. So we see that if we extend this line as I have extended, if I extend this line to a vertical line, and if I make it into an angle, it's a triangle having an angle 45 degree at this at point O, then it shows that I can easily calculate the value of y and x. So this value of y and x, I assume this to be the vertical distance from the axis, from the axis O to the point B. So, and I also assume x to be the horizontal distance from the center O to the point B. So this is the horizontal distance of B, and this is the vertical distance of B. So if we find the value of x and y, then we will be able to calculate the coordinate of B at the center, at the coordinate of a point B on the circle. So if we use the sign ratio, so we know that SOHCAHTOA, this is just something that is we can easily use to remember the sign ratio. The SO is the sine, O is the opposite, H is the hypotenuse. So if you are being given an angle y, if you are being given a side y, and if you have the hypotenuse, which here is root 2, then you can easily know that it is the sign ratio you will use, because you are given the opposite and the hypotenuse. So you use sign ratio, but when you are given the adjacent and the hypotenuse, you use a cosine ratio, which is CA, adjacent and hypotenuse. When you are giving the opposite and the adjacent, you use the tangent ratio. So here I want to find the value of y, then, and I know the longest side root 2, so there are two sides given, y opposite and arrow hypotenuse, which is OH. So that's sine. So sine 45 therefore is equal to the opposite y over the hypotenuse arrow. Over the hypotenuse arrow, which is root 2, that is the radius. Then if we cross multiply, we will arrive at arrow to be equal to 1. So then if we want to calculate the horizontal distance of y from O, the horizontal distance of B from O, which is x. X, we know x, which is the adjacent, and the hypotenuse, root 2, that is O and H. So we will use the cosine ratio. So cos 45 therefore is equal to the adjacent x divided by the hypotenuse root 2. So if we cross multiply this multiplied by this, then x is equal to 1. So it means that then the coordinate of a point B is a distance of 1 on the horizontal and a distance of 1 on the vertical.